Welcome to Are You Killing It, the podcast powered by Peak Performance Partners, where our mission is to help your business achieve success faster. I'm your host, Dr. John Ronaldo, and each week our team of business experts brings you the tools, insights, and strategies you need to kill it in your business. No fluff, just real talk, guys, to fuel your growth. Let's get to work, guys. I'm joined again by the masterminds of Peak Performance Partners. I'm going to go in a different order. We got Kevin Hernandez, Patrick Stewart, and Ricky Navarre. Gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Are You Killing It?
What about Horace Grant? I didn't know he was with us.
Come on now. Come on now. It's time to get the brand out there.
Let's go. Get the brand going. So I'm excited about the topic for today's podcast, guys, because we're going to talk about networking like a natural, making meaningful business connections. And I think we know, and you guys are out there in the business community a lot as well, going to chamber events and just meeting people at conferences, that networking, either you love it or you hate it. And I suspect a lot of people hate it more than they love it, right? And so today we're going to talk about just some strategies around networking. What makes it powerful? What are some good things to do? Maybe what are some bad things to do? And so I'm gonna turn it over to Kevin over here first and get your thoughts.
The king.
The king.
King of the network.
You heard it here first, Kevin. Peak Performance Partners.
Yeah, we should
king.
get him an event.
We're
We're going to take him with us to an event.
Right.
We got to get you a crown, too.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Okay. So when people think networking, what do people get wrong about networking, and how can people do it better?
Well, the first thing that they do, the first thing they get wrong, they don't go. Right? There's networking
They're getting
events,
ready.
there's things to do,
They're getting
right?
ready.
There's people to see, and there's people to be curious about, right? So yeah, I think that the first thing that they got to do is find out where they need to show up. You got to show up, right? Chamber events, networking groups,
Industry conferences, right?
grand openings, right? I mean, that's a great place to get to know people and to support your business community, right? Because I think when it comes down to, it's about who can you support and who can you meet and who can you support.
So that's the purpose. You would say that's the purpose of networking?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I go out to network, I want to get to know someone. I'm not trying to sell them. I'm just trying to shake their hand, find out who they are, where they're from, what they're about.
So it's not about what's in it for me as the one going to the event. It's about how can I support others. Am I hearing that right?
How can I serve you, right? Yeah, what can I do for you, right?
Very good. Ricky, you go to a ton of events. We see each other at events all the time. You know, Kevin talks about you showing up. What is so essential about building relationships within whatever community, whatever industry you're part of? Why is it so important?
Well, you've heard that old adage, right? Your network is your net worth, right? But I think one of the things taking it a step further is that when you get to meet people, especially in this town, right, you start to build your brand equity, right? And if you're authentic, like if you show up to serve others, it will pay out in time, and it might not show up the way you think, where it's, hey, immediate ROI of dollars in your pocket, right? But it's a relationship equity of, hey, I know someone that when I can either make an introduction, they trust you. They know you're going to set me up with the right person, and you get to help connect people. And that also builds relationship equity. When somebody says, hey, they know someone who needs help, you come to top of mind if you're the one who can help them, because they also know that person is going to help. They're not going to take advantage of it.
You have a relationship, right? And so what I'm hearing so far is that networking is not about the transaction. Ultimately, it's about building relationships.
Building
with people.
relationships,
So,
absolutely.
yeah. So,
Absolutely.
so for maybe the skeptic who hates networking events, Patrick, or the introverts that are like, oh, that's like liquid death to me
like
right
pulling
there.
teeth
It's like,
out.
it's like I'd rather go to the dentist than go to a network event. What are some real practical tips, Patrick, that we can take, and give to people to kind of help them make the most out of networking events? We already know show up.
Yeah.
What are some of the
Yeah.
tips to help them?
I mean, I think that the reality is for somebody to do business with you, they've got to know you, like you, trust you. Okay. That doesn't happen in one outing, right? It happens over time. So the first is the know. They got to get to know you. And I think one of the things that we've developed early on was, and it was given a tool given to us by Dave Levesque. And he said when he goes to networking, he says he identifies the cards. When you're getting everybody's cards, he identifies those. And he says, is it a decision maker? Is it an influencer? Or is it an other? The others, I'm not worried about. The influencers, so I would say this, for those kind of more introverted people, if they kind of have a plan of going, all right, I'm going to go in there, and this is what I'm going to do with that information. Number one, I'm going to get to know people. And then, hopefully I'll get them to like me a little bit. But really, I want to get to know some people. And to Kevin, I like that. Be curious about them. But then also I'm going to categorize them. Hey, are they a decision maker? Somebody who's going to buy my product, my service, my platform? Or are they an influence? They're going to influence me to somebody else who's going to be buying? Or is it just another? So you can kind of like gamify it a little bit, I guess, is probably how I'd answer that question.
Absolutely. So what role, any of you guys can answer this, what role has networking played in both your personal and professional growth? When you think about your own growth, how has networking helped in your own growth?
So for me personally, it's allowed me to be like a resource manager for people. I can tell you if I meet you and you're looking for capital, or if you're looking for maybe a new person, an employee, with the amount of people that I run into and I meet, I always have stored in my memory bank, somebody needs something or someone has something that someone needs, and ultimately that's golden. I mean, for me, I think it carries a lot of weight, right? And people always remember, they're like, hey, if you need this or that, go see Kevin because he knows people.
So the connector, right?
Yeah.
You become known as a connector, right? And whether you're extrovert, introvert, doesn't matter. You can kind of be that connector.
Yeah.
Patrick, you were talking about business cards earlier. I've been having this debate recently with some folks, which is very interesting, and it got a little heated, believe it or not. You ready for this debate? Actual business cards versus digital business cards.
Oh, go ahead. Let's go down that road.
I love it. What would I say?
Which one?
Actual.
The actual business cards.
Yeah.
Why? So
No,
because
let me give you.
here's
okay,
why.
hold on.
Here's why I say no to the digital. The digital, think about this. You're not going to remember the person, so how are you going to find them in your phone? Like
you have a
No,
Yeah,
it's just let me tell you how I
You
do
have a
it.
physical reminder.
No,
with
no,
the
no.
business
But
card.
here's how I do it. From the electrical, the digital, I'll take a photo and I'll stash it in my photos because I'm constantly going through my photos. That's how I remember.
But you
do
go
a
through the
screenshot?
photo.
Yeah,
so-
screenshot. Yeah.
But you
Screenshot it.
still got the You still got the actual business card. You just took a picture of it. So because there are these things that here's a
Yeah, the QR
scan my
code.
QR code type of thing.
No.
or the card that's like that you
No,
scan it
this
over
is
and
what
it
I
pops
do.
up.
I have my phone here. I'm all like, let me see your phone. and they show me their phone, and I tap their phone. They're like, "What'd you do?" I go, "I just."
Oh, that's right. The technology of the tapping phone.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to do any of that. So don't be
right?
tapping my phone there, brother.
So I'm gonna come tap your phone.
Kevin just getting
That
information.
sounds some privacy issues tapping our phone here a little bit. Ricky, what's your take on this? Digital versus actual business?
Actual all day. Actual all day. Now, I like Kevin's strategy, but if you're listening to this and you're going to be that person, make sure your profile is set up, and then you're going to coach them all the way through. Like, hey, your profile, I mean, your picture is on your profile. Because if it's just your name and your phone number, and I take a picture of it and put it in my photos, unless I happen to, again, especially if I just meet you for the first time, how am I going to remember who you are? And
Yeah,
right?
that's a good point.
I've had people to this day say, man, I still have your card on my desk. I still, when I think of you, like, and I've handed your card, and it now it's an extra opportunity for somebody to take the card and say, hey, oh, you need a connection? Here it is. Here, go connect with Patrick. Go connect with Ricky. If it's just the digital, it's in theory good, but I challenge anybody to look through how many contacts they have in their phone, and we're up to 500,000 people now on our phones.
No, I agree with
Not
that.
more, right?
All right.
Okay, so you're a busy business owner, right? You're trying to run the operation, and you're like, now another thing to add to my list. I go to networking events. Now, not all events are created equal, right? You know, the chamber's got stuff, your industry's got stuff, maybe there's associations. How would a busy business owner, a busy business leader prioritize which events make sense to attend and which events don't? And feel free to use some actual examples from your own experience.
Yeah, definitely. The events that serve food. Definitely. That's a no-brainer.
Or open bar.
Yeah, open bar, right?
Bar?
Dude, if you want to bring people, you want people to show up to your event, have some food on hand.
Yeah. So food and drink. Okay. I actually don't disagree with that. So I like that.
I think, you know, you want to fish where the fish are, right? And so I think it truly is. Sometimes you don't know just by looking at, hey, this event is, you know, this is an industry event, or this is a chamber event, or it's a
Lunch and learn.
Yeah, lunch and learn. So a lot of times you don't know who's going to be there. So now over time you get to kind of get a good feeling, like, okay, you know what, this is where we've caught some good fish. So we're going to go back to this fishing hole, and we're going to make sure that this is on our list when they have a networking event, or they've got an event, or they've got an opportunity for us to sponsor. We're going to sponsor. And so because there's big fish there or the type of fish we like to eat. And I think that's kind of the thing that I would look at. But to start, you just literally, there was not one event when we started
That we didn't show up
that
for.
we didn't show up for. And there was a breakfast every day, a lunch every day, and a dinner event almost every day, if you want to go out and really get some cards in your hands.
And let me just add this. For someone that's looking for the different types of events, I mean, there's multiple. You got the chamber events, right? You got the networking events, where they trade leads, right?
Yep.
Those are
the BNIs.
the BNIs. Those are considered events. You also have Eventbrite, which is what we use to find out. Like we were new in the community, we didn't know what was going on, so we used Eventbrite to actually look for events to attend, because there's a ton of events that you can attend that people don't know about, right? Expos. I believe there was one yesterday that we participated in, the Vegas Chamber Expo, right? Trade shows. That's an event, right? Grand openings.
So there's a little bit what I'm hearing is there's a little bit of trial and error, right? Depending on what your community is, you know, what's going on. You got to go to events to see which makes sense. And I'll speak for myself. Some of the events that I like to go to is when they have elected officials. And it's not because
That's a good point.
I'm interested in elected officials, but I'm actually more interested in the people, because I find that those events actually draw the type
that's a
of
good
fish,
one.
Patrick, that you're talking about, that I'm fishing
Chum
for.
in the water.
It's a great
That's the
connection.
chum.
And they tend to be large groups, right? The ones with elected officials have large groups. So it's just an idea. I think that's really valuable.
That's really good.
I would add to it, it's really important to identify your ICP, right? Who's your ideal client profile, so you can narrow down and figure out, are the people I'm going to meet there. Are the
But
ones
to
who-
that point, Ricky, I challenge you. Like, how would I know how to figure that out? What's
If
your
you
ideas?
haven't gone yet,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
haven't been to an event
Yeah,
yet.
exactly.
Right.
Oh no, I'm saying that you have to have that so that you can determine as you're going to these events whether or not you want to go back. To
No,
it
I
again.
understand that, but my question is, so if I'm starting a business or if I'm new in the community and I know what my product is and I know who I want to sell it to, how do I equate that to what event I should go to?
Well, that's a great question. The way I would say is this, for example, like the President's Club with the Vegas Chamber. The President's Club is some of the most well-known decision makers and leaders in this organization, right?
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so if you're saying, hey, I need to get in front of large businesses or large decision makers, President's Club is where you want to be.
That's a great
right?
point. Yeah,
Like,
that-
right. Now, same point though, if I'm selling a product software or if I just am selling a license, if I'm just selling a CRM that anybody can use, or if I have something that is a $20 a month product that is applies to and appeals to everybody, then I don't need to be part of the President's Club. I don't need to make the
That is
extra
correct. Yep.
investment, right? Like I say, hey, I need to be where the masses are because that's who my client is for, right?
So really understanding your audience, right? Ultimately, is what you're
truly.
looking at to kind of determine the event. Okay, so let's move digital here for a second. You know, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a tool that's out there. It's social media. It's an opportunity to connect with. It's meant for business leaders and the professional, right? That's out there doing that. What's the best way to utilize LinkedIn in terms of networking and connecting with people?
Well,
Go
there's
ahead,
a-
Kevin. Go
yeah,
ahead,
there's
Kevin.
a couple of ways.
Drop
Number
some
one,
knowledge.
you can actually there's QR code set up. So if you have a profile set up in LinkedIn, you can actually have you've got a QR code that will scan. Simply ask someone, "Hey, Ricky, are you on LinkedIn?" Are you?
Yes, I am.
All right. Just get in the LinkedIn and let's go ahead and let's tap the phones. You know, again, let me take your QR code. I'm gonna connect with you immediately. The best way.
And so it's one thing to have a bunch of connections on LinkedIn, but then once you have them in LinkedIn, what do you
tell
do?
So I'm just going to give an example right here. So I reached out to a connector. I said, hey, looking forward to crossing paths at some point. I'm also looking to create a few strategic partners with business owners who are ready to lead their industry. Hope we can find some time to chat about it. So then he didn't reply. 2 days later, I sent him this message. Hey, I wanted to reach out personally because we've been based in Nevada, being based in Nevada myself. I've been hearing about your company more and more, and I think we might have a strong addition to one of our invitation-only membership groups. We have CEOs, presidents, and then he said this, sounds interesting, and thanks for reaching out. I'd be interested in hearing more, and my preference is always discussing in person. Please let me know when there's a window, and I'll be available.
Bam.
But this is a person that you met in person
No,
first.
no, this is LinkedIn.
You just met. You just connected.
No,
on
you
LinkedIn.
just connected with someone and then sent them a message.
Okay. So do everyone that you connect with on LinkedIn, do you then send a message?
If they're in our profile, if they're a president,
If we're
CEO,
a
business
potential-
owner.
Well, I'm going to
Fine.
push back a little bit on that. Not everyone. Like, if someone connects with me and they're not a decision maker, I'm not sending any messages.
Okay. So again, same thing what Ricky just said. No, but that's fair. It's knowing your
curious,
audience.
bro.
Well, again, dude, the bottom line is to make some money here, right?
Let's
And
go.
again,
Yeah,
I'm
achieve
going to be
success
curious
faster.
as long as you can
If
give me
you're a
some money.
business owner, you're listening to this podcast. You're like, how do I make money? Right?
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is a podcast to help me make money. You're like, yeah, I want to deal with business owners and decision
Exactly.
makers.
So I tell you, any listener to this has been on LinkedIn, has connected with someone they've never met, right? They put in a request, they accept it, and then there's an immediate sales pitch. Not quite what you described there, Patrick, right? That's a little bit more generic and kind of more learning about them. But I've certainly had folks reach out to me and say, oh, I noticed your connections and relationships, and I think we'd be great. And would you like to buy this product or blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah, they're
right?
coming out with the sale.
They're coming out with a sale, but there's no relationship, right? And that's the
Exactly.
fear, especially on the digital platform. And again, this is not supposed to be a LinkedIn podcast episode, but it's part of networking. That I think a lot of people get frustrated by that. And I used to be the kind, gentle soul who would respond to everybody, so thanks, happy to be connected, but not interested. And now I don't even respond to those anymore because one, I feel like they're automated, right? It's not actually a person typing it, but it's a fine line, Patrick, of doing what you just described, but then just totally turning people off and go, they're trying to sell me. I have no relationship with you.
But again, it's you're not going to win every fight. So it becomes in networking and in sales. I mean, it truly is, in marketing, it's a numbers game.
It is a numbers
if
game,
you're
100%.
if you're active and you're trying, you know, your every no is one more no
step to a
closer
yes.
to a yes.
Yeah, and I think to that point, the key is consistency, and that's what I love to preach. I mean, you could do something over and over and over again. The chip is going to fall on one of those overs. It's the consistency of doing it.
It's
Just
the same
do
thing
it.
like networking,
Just
right?
do
You
it.
can't just show up for one event and be like, all right, now I've done it. Check that box. Like, you have to show up 80% of the game, just period, for success. Suit up and show up. That's 80%. Now, the thing I love about what you said is that consistency, even on LinkedIn, like to Patrick's message, he showed interest once, then he followed up a second time, and a lot of times it's like, either people are busy, but it's like, hey, that's his second networking event he showed up to. Like, hey, I tried again. I'm reaching out. It's that authentic curiosity of, hey, I care and I want to, versus I'm just running through and shotgunning and seeing whoever, right? Like, you wanted to reach out. And one of my favorite stories is you and Ken Ashworth.
Yeah.
Like, you reached out just simply like out of the blue, like, hey, I want to get to know you. And he's like, okay, I'll get to know you too. And now you two have got one of the greatest friendships
Yeah,
in, I think, the world,
There's
right?
nothing transactional about it.
There's nothing transactional. Again, there's no money's ever, but the relationship, it's that next level way to network using LinkedIn. It goes back to foundational. Be curious, be authentic. If you're leveraging network like LinkedIn to sell, you're not network. You're not trying to build your
Sure.
network and
That's
your
exactly
relationship
right.
base. So just treat it the same way. Like, I want to connect with people. And when you first started, I loved what you did, and you still did it with so much intentionality. Every night you'd spend 15 minutes
10, 15 minutes.
right?
Yeah.
Just creating new connections, looking at the profile, because you were intentional. It wasn't just, let me spam anybody who's connected to this person. It was
intentional about who I want to connect with.
right. You looked at their college, you looked at their high school, you looked at where they work, you looked at the organizations they're part of, who they're following. Like, you got to know that person because LinkedIn had you did your work, then you connect, and you're like, you seem like somebody who I want to know more about.
Exactly.
And that's the way I would say to bring that to a point, if you will.
And I think one of the things that you all keep talking about consistency, and I think that's an important takeaway. Is I think a lot of people go to a networking event and expect some sort of ROI on the first time they go, and it's not about that. We're playing a long game right here when it comes to networking
It's
and
the
attending
long
these
game.
events. It's like it's relationship building. And quite honestly, I'm looking back at how I met y'all. It was through these networking events at the chamber.
Yeah.
So
And it was after a
and-
couple
and-
times,
and
a couple
again-
times.
and here we are.
No,
3
we had
years
lunch.
later.
We had lunch
And
at the
to
one.
that
Yeah.
point, with consistency, there's consistency, and then there's the next step. And what I mean by that, whether you're connecting with someone on LinkedIn or you're meeting them, I meet you for the first time and collect your card. Guess what happens? I can collect your card all day long. I'll collect your card, and your card. Throw it in my pocket. Hey, and by most standards, people say, I'm done. I went to the event. And guess what happens? Your 3 cards are sitting on my desk and nothing has happened.
So what's the system, right? I go to an event, I get 5 cards, I go back to my desk, back in my office. What system do I need to have in place to make the best use out of those cards?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a step. What's the next step? You collect the card. What are you going to do with that card?
Yeah.
Where's it going to go? After it goes where it's supposed to go, then you've got something else to do. You got to pick up the phone and call that card, right?
Yeah.
Right? And
So when we first started, that's what we would do is we had an Excel spreadsheet and we would put it on Excel, and then we had A, B, C client, right? C was under $1 million, B was from 1 to 3, and A was 3 and up. And so we had a list of names and phone numbers and emails, and we were reaching out to them.
And that's where your CRM can be helpful,
And then-
right?
and
your
then we-
sales
and then-
forces
but
of the
we
world, things
really-
like that.
Yeah,
right?
but we started with Excel spreadsheet. I think that's the other thing that misnomer. People think, oh, I gotta have my CRM. I gotta. You know what?
No.
Excel spreadsheet or
your
piece
Excel
of paper. or what-
spreadsheet can be the
And
back
then-
of a paper.
And then get started, right? Get started, and then you can. Now we've got, we have a Pipedrive CRM that's got automations. It's got follow up. We have appointment setters. We have confirmers. We have an automated confirming process. But we
That's
didn't
not where you
start with
start.
that.
It's not where you start.
But
Yeah.
you want to just keep refining. Start
And as you
somewhere.
grow, right, you'll have those systems
Yes.
in place and CRMs. And
You'll
whatnot.
need them. You'll be overwhelmed if you don't put them in
One of the
place.
most important parts is, even if you write it on a sheet of paper, you keep reaching out and following up because people are busy, right?
That's exactly
Until
right. That
you
goes
get
right into
that
something I
meeting.
love.
That sometimes it's gonna take you 3 calls, 5 calls, the meeting got scheduled and then it got canceled, and then again, 80% of business is lost due to lack of follow-up.
Yes. Yes.
Well, and I bribed you guys when I first met you all. I just I invited you to a hockey game, second row from the glass.
Yes.
So that worked out really
yeah,
well.
you did
Here
great.
we are now.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
All right, last question in terms of this topic. All right, what's a big no-no? People go into events, they're connecting with people, they're trying to network. What's a no-no? What's something you should never do when you're networking?
Stand in a corner with your back turned to everyone.
Stand in the corner. And I'm going to take that a step further. After you've been to an event one time, met some people, the biggest no-no is showing up to the next event and just sticking with the people you're now comfortable with.
Oh,
You're suddenly like,
That's
oh,
good.
I
that was a
I
grand
met
slam
him.
right there.
And now you sit there and you went to meet people and you met the exact same person that you met. It's great to talk to them. You want to connect, build that, but go meet other people.
Yeah, and then I would also say, not having a good elevator pitch and asking for business before they know you, like you, trust you. Like just going, hey, I sell insurance. Do you want to do business? And I got some policies. I'd like to send you some quotes.
I love it.
And you're like,
So don't sit in the corner. Don't talk to all the people we've already met, and make sure you got your elevator pitch. Kind of you know
Yeah, I
kind of
love
how to
it.
pitch.
They're
that.
all good.
I love that. Oh my gosh, we could go all day talking about
yes,
networking and how to
we
be able
love
to
it.
do this. So but we're talking the disc profile. We got a lot of high I's in the room. We're kind of a little
Yeah.
bit natural, the high D's.
Yeah.
And of course, if you take the disc assessment, those of you who are high C's, high S's. Going to be a little bit more difficult for you, but hopefully we gave you guys some tips today to kind of help you with your own networking. It's so important to get out there and make this happen. It needs to be part of your business growth strategy. That's what I'm hearing, right?
Yep.
We can't not do it. You have to do it, right? All right, guys. Thanks so much again for joining us for another episode of Are You Killing It? Powered by Peak Performance Partners. You want to find out more about us and what we're doing, go to 3-peak.com. But more importantly, we talked about LinkedIn. So find Kevin Hernandez, Patrick Stewart, and Ricky Navarre on LinkedIn and connect with us
Always
there.
looking to grow that network.
There it is.
go.
There it is.
Be curious.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time in the Are You Killing It podcast.
Woo!